and they hired him. You know what? That's low. Yeah. Oh, y'all hired him. All right. Madam Secretary, will you please call the roll?
Senator Girdler,
Oh, I'm here.
Senator Maiden, I'm sorry, Senator Webb, Representative Petrie, here. Representative Stalker, present. Representative Thomas,
Present.
Co-Chair McPherson,
Present.
Chair Funky Fromeyer.
Present.
Now, we have a quorum. Let me read what I'm supposed to do. We're going to go out of order, and they're going to give me my walking papers, and we're going to try to hire 2 new ones. So, would you please begin, Savannah?
Pursuant to KRS 45790 sub 1, members of the Senate are to elect a Senate member to serve as Senate co-chair of the committee. Is there a nomination from a Senate member for the position of Senate co-chair of the committee?
I nominate my good friend from way up north, Senator Funky Fromeyer.
Senator Girdler has nominated Senator Funky Fromeyer. Is there a second from a Senate member?
I second that.
Motion is seconded by Senator Maiden. Is there a motion from a Senate member that nominations cease and that Senator Funky Fromeyer be elected by acclamation?
So moved.
Motion by Senator Maiden.
Oh, you did good.
Is there a second from a Senate member?
I guess I'll have to.
Seconded by Senator
Second.
Girdler. Motion having been made and seconded that nominations cease and that Senator Funky Fromeyer be elected co-chair by acclamation without objection, so ordered. Senator Funky Fromeyer, congratulations on being elected the new Senate co-chair of the Capital Projects and Bond Oversight Committee.
Thank you, Savannah.
I just made it back from Washington. I didn't know if you'd be here or not.
All right. So pursuant to KRS 45791, members of the House are to elect a House member to serve as House co-chair of the committee for a term of 2 years. Is there a nomination from a House member for the position of House co-chair of the committee?
I make a motion. We elect Representative Sean McPherson.
Representative Thomas has nominated Representative McPherson. Is there a second from a House member? All right, seconded by Representative Stalker. Is there a motion for a House member that nominations cease and that Representative McPherson be elected by acclamation?
So moved.
All right, motion by Representative Petrie. Is there a second from a House member? Seconded by Representative Stalker. Motion having been made and seconded that nominations cease and that Representative McPherson be elected co-chair by acclamation without objection, so ordered. Representative McPherson, congratulations on being elected the new House co-chair of the Capital Projects and Bond Oversight Committee.
I would give you a hug, but I'd afraid everybody look at me. I'm trying to figure out who the other senator is. Oh, Robin, she's still on here.
All right, with excitement, I'll do my first order of business as the new chair. So I would like to ask for a motion to approve the minutes from our last meeting. We have a motion by Senator Walker or Representative Walker Thomas. May I have a second?
Second.
And seconded by Senator Maiden. Does any other member have an objection? If not, okay. Savannah, I am going to ask you to report the information items.
Absolutely. Pursuant to KRS 26A 168 sub 1, KRS 45793, and KRS 45818, the Administrative Office of the Courts, the Finance and Administration Cabinet with the Commonwealth Office of Technology reporting independently, and post-secondary institutions managing their own capital construction under KRS 164A 580, transmitted quarterly capital project status reports. Pursuant to KRS 45760 sub 5, the University of Kentucky reported 5 equipment purchases. Through their physical agents, 3 school districts, none of which needed an additional tax levy to pay debt service, reported upcoming general obligation debt issues to finance new projects. Those districts were Davis County, Nicholas County, and Taylor County. Pursuant to KRS 45-812 Sub 1 through their physical agents, 2 entities, neither of which needed an additional tax levy to pay debt service, reported upcoming revenue bond issues. Those entities were the Kentucky Interlocal School Transportation System and the Montgomery County School District. Pursuant to KRS 48-111 Sub 6C, the committee transmitted its notification of non-approval to the Finance and Administration Cabinet for PR 3567, a space increase request submitted by the Division of Real Properties last month. Pursuant to House Bill 6, Kentucky Community and Technical College System reported asset preservation projects. And that's the end of the information items.
Okay, thank you, Savannah. We'll move on to the next part of our agenda, which is the project report from the Finance and Administrative Cabinet. Oh, Kevin Cardwell. Thank you, Kevin. Our Deputy State Budget Director. So Kevin is here in person. Agenda item number 4, there's 2 items that will require action and 1 item requiring no action. Do I have a motion and a second to roll the 2 action items into 1 roll call vote?
Second.
Okay, thanks. We have a motion by Senator Girdler and a second by Representative McPherson. Any member object? You're making it easy since everyone's over here on my left, so I'll pivot a little better. Okay. Okay, yes. Mr. Cartwell, please begin with the 2 action items.
Yes, thank you, Chair Funky Fromeyer. As indicated, I've got 2 items to report for action today, and 1 item is just an informational item. And for the record, my name is Kevin Cardwell, Deputy State Budget Director. The first item is being reported in as per KRS 45760 Sub 7. It's for the Transportation Cabinet, Department of Highways. It's the D9 Rowan County East and West bound renovation project. The amount of this project is $5,140,000 and will be funded 100% federal funds from the National Highway Performance Program. This project is going to address both the interior and exterior concerns at both the east and the westbound Rowan County rest areas. It's going to include structural and safety issues, repairing those, bringing both structures up to current building codes, increasing safety and ADA compliance, and improving maintenance and utility cost. Moving on to the second action item, this is a federal fund appropriation increase for the Transportation Cabinet. This is for the aviation, the construction of the Capital City Airport Terminal Building project, and the increase is $1 million today, and it's all federal funds. The original authority was a line item budget in House Bill 265 from the 24 regular session. That was in the amount of $9 million with restricted funds. The increase of $1 million is needed due to receiving a new federal grant. The scope of the project has not changed. The restricted fund expending will be less for this project. So the project is going to construct the new airport terminal building to replace the old and outdated terminal building at the Capital City Airport.
Does any member have questions? Yes, Representative Petrie.
Thank you, Chair. Real quick, you had mentioned that on the Construct Capital City Airport Terminal Building that additional award on federal grant, and there would be not as much restricted fund necessary on that $9 million in 2024. Is it a 1-for-1? So if we get 1, we go down $1 million, or is it less than that? Is it a discounted reduction?
It's a 1-to-1.
1-to-1?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Wonderful. We know all dollars are taxpayer dollars, but we do appreciate the reduction. Do we have a motion? If seeing no further questions, any other questions? Okay. Do we have a motion? And a second? Thank you. Madam Secretary, please call a roll. Oh, seconded by Senator Maiden. Girdler, Senator Girdler.
Senator Girdler.
Aye.
Senator Maiden. Senator Webb. Representative Petrie.
Yes.
Representative Stalker. Representative Thomas.
Aye.
Co-Chair McPherson.
Yes.
Chair Funky Fromeyer.
Yes. Thank you. Mr. Cardwell, would you please continue with the item that does not require action?
Yes. This final item today, as you mentioned, does not require action. It's a reporting of a pool project in excess of $1 million. This is for post-secondary education, particularly Kentucky State University, and it's the Exum Center Exterior Repairs Project. The amount of the project is $1,363,000. Will be funded with $1,185,217 and change from bond funds, and $177,782 and some change in restricted funds. The restricted funds will satisfy the 15% match requirement, and it would be funded from the 22-24 asset preservation pool. And this project is going to remedy various exterior issues at the Exum Center, including water infiltration, windows, and access issues. The project was approved by the KSU Board of Regents on April the 12th of 2023 and by the Council of Post-Secondary Education on April 14th of 2023. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cardwell. So as this project required no action, does, though we let him leave, does anyone have any questions? Okay, thanks, Mr. Cardwell. All right, on next, we've got lease report from the Finance and Administration Cabinet. Lease renewals, same terms and conditions. Action is required. I do believe it's Natalie Bronner joining us remotely.
Yes. I'm
Okay.
here.
And Natalie, first I'm going to ask if we could roll the 4 lease renewals into one roll call vote. Are there any members that object to that? If we could, may I have a motion to roll those in? Motion from Senator Webb. Thanks, Senator Webb, for joining us. Glad to see you. And a second? Thank you, Representative Walker Thomas. I can see how that's challenging. I've got to make sure that the man with 2 first names, I'm going to have to just start picking on you. That's right. Wow. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Mrs. Bronner, would you introduce yourself for the record and then please provide us the testimony?
Certainly. Thank you so much. And good afternoon. My name is Natalie Bronner, and I'm the Director of the Division of Real Properties. And today I have 4 lease renewals. These are all at the same terms and conditions of the current lease. And they're over $100,000 annually and being reported per KRS 56-823-2. So the first is the first 3 are for the Cabinet for Health and Family Services, Department for Community-Based Services. The first is PR 3524 in Pulaski County for $8.07 per square foot, or $118,023.84 annually through June 30th of 2033. The next is PR 4487 in Letcher County for $9.26 per square foot, or $178,579.12 annually through June 30th, 2026. And the third for CHFS is PR 5410 in Clay County for $13.39 per square foot, or $191,825.16 annually through June 30th of 2033. And then the final one today is for the Justice and Public Safety Cabinet for the Department of Corrections, Division of Probation and Parole for PR 5586 in Jefferson County for parking at $106 per space per month for 84 spaces, which is $106,848 annually through June 30th of 2026. And that concludes the lease renewals.
Wonderful. Do we have any questions? One from me for 1 second, Mrs. Bronner.
Sure.
As I did note that each of those cost per square foot negotiated was a little less than the county average on 3 of the 4. But then the fourth on the 106 per month was actually a difference of $9 per space per month, it appears. Can you help us understand how those are considered and how we negotiate that?
So actually on the lease renewals, there's no negotiating. It has to be at the same existing terms, and all of those are the same, or the terms of the current leases. So we're just extending those dates, by the stated, to the stated years. Is that helpful? Did I answer that?
Okay, so originally 2019 and then 5 years later. And then we're renewing, and it looks like we're just doing a 1-year renewal on that one.
That's correct. And those, that is, that's a lease with Louisville Metro, and that is the term that they have selected for their renewal.
Good. My hope is that they'll recognize the vacancy and renew it lower. That's a problem. Okay. Are there any other questions by any other members? Do we have a motion to accept these 4 lease renewals? We have a motion by Senator Maiden and a second. A second by Representative Stalker. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Senator Girdler. Senator Maiden. Senator Webb. Representative Petrie.
Yes.
Representative Stalker. Representative Thomas.
Aye.
Co-Chair McPherson. Chair Funky Fromeyer.
Yes. Thank you, Mrs. Bronner.
Thank you so much.
All right. Next, we have the report from the Office of Financial Management. And also remote, I believe, Millward Dedman from our Kentucky
This is
Director.
Kentucky
Hello.
Infrastructure Authority.
Hello, sir. It's good to see you.
Good to see you. This is the report from Kentucky Infrastructure Authority.
Thank you, Millward. And
Okay.
would you please introduce yourself for the record?
I will. Thank you, Chair Funky Fromeyer and members of the committee. I'm Millward Dedman, Deputy Executive Director with the Kentucky Infrastructure Authority. Pursuant to KRS 224A-100, the authority will present one grant requiring action. To remind the committee members, the Kentucky Water and Wastewater's Assistance for Troubled or Economically Restrained Systems Fund, which we call Kentucky Waters, was established in House Bill 563 during the 2024 regular session to provide funding for troubled and economically restrained systems. For your review today, Wood Creek Water District's Kentucky Waters Emergency Grant in the amount of $57,000 is to cover 1/2 of the water payment in arrears due to the district by the city of Livingston. Wood Creek Water District is the water supplier for the city of Livingston, and the city of Livingston then provides water to Kentucky American Water Company, who has customers in Rockcastle County. Over several years, the city of Livingston has been unable to regularly pay for the water they purchase from the district. On November the 5th, 2024, Wood Creek Water District terminated water service to the city of Livingston due to lack of payment. Rockcastle Fiscal Court declared a state of emergency on November the 5th, 2024, due to the interruption of water service to customers in Livingston and Rockcastle County. With the KIA Board's approval of the Kentucky Waters Grant Fund, Wood Creek Water District agreed to restore water service. On November 26, a meeting was held at the Rockcastle County Courthouse with both state officials and local leadership to determine the best way to proceed to obtain water security for the affected citizens. Both Wood Creek and Kentucky American have been in negotiations with the city of Livingston to work out a regional solution, not only for water service in the area, but also consideration has been given to regionalize the city's sewer system as well. While a final decision has not yet been reached, all parties are working together to find an equitable solution. This emergency grant was approved at the November 7th KIA board meeting. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Dedman. Do we have any questions? Chairman Petrie.
Thank you, Chair. Just very quickly, the audits that are behind City of Livingston, do we know how many audits they're behind or what years they're behind for?
They're behind about 2 or 3 years.
Okay, fair enough. And if you can follow up with me on this, I'm trying to track this issue down and make sure I understand the statutory authority for when DLG reports that an entity is behind on its audit, the exact statutory authority to hold up funding in other projects. I've been pointed to a statute previously that I've reviewed. I'm trying to make sure there's not another one out there. Do you know what statutory authority there is to hold the funding when DLG reports lack of audits?
I do not on cities, like the city of Livingston, but I can get with DLG and report back to the committee.
If you would do that, please, if the chair is okay with that.
Yes, please.
If you would report back, I'm just trying to track this issue and make sure I've got it narrowed down. Thank you very much. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, sure will.
Thank you. And Senator Webb.
Thank you, and thank you, former Representative Dedman. It's always good to see you. But a few years ago, I sponsored a task force to identify districts, prompted by Martin County, to identify those districts that were in trouble or were going to be in trouble. It looks like Livingston certainly is one of those. Okay, we've got American Water's involvement as well. I'm just more concerned about, and the key has done a great job following recommendations and working along those lines in identification and helping these entities. But I'm afraid with the weather-related things that we're going through, it's going to get worse. And I always try to bring attention to the plight of these districts. And I just want to make sure they've got a plan, that they have a workable plan and the money's going to be there to implement that plan and what kind of time frame I got friends in Rockcastle County, but to make sure that these people don't have a disruption of service or that their service doesn't go up 300% on cost. So, how are we going to be assured that that's in place? I'd like to maybe be updated on that. The status of the districts that are in disaster, on the cusp of disaster, and like I said, I think that's going to get worse.
That's what we're working on now. We're trying. They're working with Wood Creek and Kentucky American, and what we're working towards is one of those groups taking over the water and sewer system. So we've been talking with Wood Creek about potential funding because there are going to have to be a lot of repairs done to the system. Whoever takes it over. So we are working with them. They've been very concerned. I think there are a lot of fees and penalties that have been placed on the system, and so they're worried about those as well. But I think there's statutes that do away with that if they're able to bring it in compliance within 3 years.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Yes, and Senator Maiden.
I was just wondering, will there be any efforts to try to recoup the money that we're going to give them? I know, being a former mayor, when I got money from KIA, we were mandated to raise our water rates to receive funds. Will that be something that'll be put into place?
In this case, it will not. This is a part of the emergency. As I was stating earlier, it's part of House Bill 563 that was passed last year, which does supply grants for these economically restrained systems. So this $57,000 will not be. Now, any additional funding that someone would need to bring the system back up, yes, it would.
Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate the questions surrounding this. And Senator Webb, you suggested that you'd like a summary report. Is that something that is reasonable? I could recognize the desire for that, because you may have to answer some questions.
Well, that, or, I think in natural resources, we probably deal with that overall issue, and we might get an update along those lines for those districts that we've identified.
Okay.
But I appreciate
Senator
that.
Webb, I think what you would probably like is just to be kept informed of how this negotiation is proceeding.
Well, yeah, and if I could just another layer of this, American is trying to buy entities all across the state, and they're very involved, and I have some concerns about that too. So I'm also concerned about the private entity profit. I'm concerned about rates. I'm concerned about a lot of things with this. I'm not saying that it might not be a good plan, but I like to monitor the involvement of the foreign entity in our water, and what exactly their responsibilities are going to be, and and protect the consumer. So all that being said,
Understand.
Wonderful. Any further questions? Appreciate the robust discussion. Do I have a motion and a second to approve the grant for Kentucky Waters program? A motion by Representative Walker Thomas. Second. And a second by Senator Girdler. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Senator Girdler. Aye. Senator Maiden. Yes. Senator Webb. Yes. Representative Petrie. Yes. Representative Stalker. Yes. Representative Thomas.
Aye.
Co-Chair McPherson.
Yes.
Chair Funky Fromeyer.
Yes. The action was approved. Mr. Dedman, could you please continue with the one item that requires
Yes.
no action?
Yes, ma'am. I have one information item. This is from House Bill 1 of the 2024 session. There is one line item water grant. This is to the city of Williamsburg for $1 million.
That line item grant requires no action. Does any member have any questions? All right. Thank you, Mr. Dedman.
Thank you.
Okay. This might be my favorite part of the show. Okay. So Economic Development Fund grants. The K team, the double K, super K. And there will be some action required. So our hope is if you could introduce yourselves, and then we will make a motion to, I believe, roll these in. Let's see. Because we'll be talking about three EDF grants. Well, good afternoon.
Good afternoon and Happy New Year. Good to see you all. My name's Katie Smith. I'm the Deputy Secretary and Commissioner of Financial Services at the Cabinet for Economic Development.
Hello, good afternoon. I'm Kylie Palmer. I'm the Director of Program Administration at the Cabinet.
Great. And before I have you get started, could I have a motion to roll these three requests into one vote? So moved. Okay. I have a motion by Representative Petrie and a second by Senator Maiden. You may proceed, Super Ks.
Thank you. First, we have Bell County Fiscal Court. This is on behalf of the Bell County Economic Development Foundation. This was approved by KEDFA for a $2 million KPDI EDF grant to engage in site acquisition as well as preparation and earthwork for the Flash Steelworks site in Middlesboro. Matching funds are provided through local funds, and the total potential investment for this project is $6,131,127. Next, we have Franklin County Fiscal Court on behalf of the Keaton Lane Industrial Development Authority. This was approved for a project with a potential investment of $8 million. Project is for site acquisition as well as due diligence, road improvement, and infrastructure improvements for the creation of the new Keaton Lane Industrial Park on U.S. Highway 127 South. This is a regional project with support from both Anderson and Franklin counties, and matching funds are provided through the IDA. This project was approved by KEDFA for a $4 million KPDI EDF grant. And last, we have Shelby County Fiscal Court on behalf of the Shelby County Industrial and Development Foundation. Was approved for a project with a potential investment of approximately $11.4 million. This project is seeking to acquire 65 acres, extend infrastructure, and build an access road at 1198 Joyce Station Road in Shelbyville. Matching funds are provided through a combination of a bank loan and local funds, and the project was approved by KEDFA for $2 million KPDI EDF grant. We have 3 KPDI EDF grant projects presented today for your consideration. These were identified by an independent site selection consultant as having a potential for a future investment or a location of an economic development project. All projects were recommended by Secretary Knoll, and a signed concurrence letter was provided by Secretary Johnson. These projects were approved by KEDFA at the December 12th, 2024 KEDFA meeting and presented to State Props and Building Commissions at the January 14th, 2025 meeting.
Wonderful. Thank you. Do any members have questions? We love seeing these investments. Seeing no further questions, do I have a motion and a second to approve the 3 EDF grants? A motion by Senator Maiden and a second by Representative McPherson.
He moved before I did.
He was fast. He was quick on the action. Madam Secretary, will you please call the roll?
Senator Girdler. Senator Maiden. Sorry. Senator Webb. Representative Petrie.
Yes.
Representative Stalker. Representative Thomas.
Aye.
Co-Chair McPherson. Chair Funky Fromeyer.
Aye. Thank you, Mrs. Smith. Thank you, Mrs. Palmer. Our Office of Financial Management, Chelsea Couch, I believe, is here in person. Hi, Chelsea. Agenda items 6C and 6D, a new debt issue, and 5 school district debt issues with SFCC participation requiring action, and 4 previous debt issues requiring no action. Ms. Couch, please begin with the new debt issue. After we vote on that, then you may continue to the 4 debt issues.
Sorry. I'm Chelsea Couch with the Office of Financial Management. We are seeking approval today for a new debt issuance for State Property and Buildings Commission that will finance various projects for the benefit of numerous state agencies of the Commonwealth that were authorized by the General Assembly in various appropriation bills. This financing is set to sell on March 5th of this year for an amount not to exceed $900 million, but we anticipate a par amount closer to $730. We will continue to monitor capital spend closer to the sale date. We also have bonds that are callable on August 1st that may be included in this financing, but we are continuing to monitor interest rates. At current rates, this refinancing has anticipated savings of just over $9.8 million. Bank of America is the lead underwriter, and this is a negotiated sale. The issuance was approved by State Prop and Building Commission on January 14th of this year.
Senator Girdler. Senator Maiden. Senator Webb. Representative Petrie.
Yes.
Representative Stalker. Representative Thomas.
Aye.
Co-Chair McPherson.
Yes.
Chair Funky Frommeyer.
Yes. The new debt issue was approved.
Thank you.
Would you please continue with the 4 previous debt issues?
Yes, so these have all recently sold, and just for informational purposes, we have Western Kentucky University, 2 series, Series A for just over $31 million, and Series B was a refinancing for $6.2. Series A sold competitively on December 5th to Bank of New York Mellon with a true interest cost of 3.73%, and Series B sold to Northland Securities with a true interest cost of just over 3%. I have 3 KHC multifamily conduit revenue bonds. The first one for Garden Place Apartments was a private placement for $5 million that sold in October at a net interest cost of 6.5% to Hope of Kentucky. The second, Chenoweth Woods Apartments. This is another private placement for $11.5 million that sold in August at a net interest cost of 6.05% to Grand Bridge Real Estate Capital. And the third, Winterwood 3 Rural Housing Portfolio. This was a public offering in December with a par amount of $14 million that sold for a cost of 3.5%.
That was a good value. The previous debt issues require no action. Does any member have any questions? All right, before continuing with the 5 SFCC debt issues requiring action, do I have a motion and a second to roll them into one roll call vote? Motion by Senator Maiden. And a second? A second by Senator Girdler. We have a motion and a second. Does any member object? Ms. Couch, you may begin.
Okay. I have 5 new money issuances for the SFCC seeking approval. The first, Elizabethtown Independent. These are lease revenue bonds with the par amount of $24.4 million to renovate TK Stone Middle School. The state is participating in 5.5% of this issuance with an annual debt service payment of just over $100,000. Second, I have Erlanger Independent. These are general obligation bonds with a par amount of $26 million to finance Phase 4 of the renovations to Lloyd High School. The state is participating in 6% of this issuance with an annual debt service payment amount of $120,000. Third, I have Fayette County general obligation bonds with a par amount of $169 million for the new Henry Clay High School. The state is participating in 4% of this issuance with an annual debt service amount of just over $500,000. Fourth, I have Henderson County lease revenue bonds with the par amount of $17 million to renovate East Heights High School. The state is participating in 15% of this issuance with an annual debt service payment of $185,000. Last, I have Union County general obligation bonds with a par amount of just over $14 million to renovate their vocational school. The state is participating in 6.93% of this issuance with an annual debt service payment amount of $73,000.
Thank you. Do we have any questions from members? Representative Petrie.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you for the presentation. It's going to be an ongoing question if you don't already have it ready. So with these, do we know if each of these obligations that are ongoing with these projects are relative to educational space, administrative space, or other space?
So I do have a breakdown.
There we go. Thank you. All right, we're good.
That I can get over to you.
That'll be
So
if you'll get that through the chair and
Yes.
through the committee, that would be
I
great.
can
Thank
get
you
that
very
to you.
much.
Yes, thank you. We'll look forward to receiving that. When I'm looking at the detail, I'm not seeing, no, okay. I'm familiar with the Erlanger,
Erlanger, that's a word, that's a hard one to pronounce.
only because it's in my northern Kentucky stomping grounds my entire life. I was born and lived there for my first 2 years. But it is a meaningful sum of money, so thank you. Any further questions? Okay, seeing no further questions, do I have a motion and a second to approve these 5 SFCC debt issues? A motion by Representative Chair McPherson. And second by Representative Stalker. Thank you, Madam Secretary. Will you please call the roll?
Senator Girdler. Senator Maiden. Senator Webb. Representative Petrie.
Yes.
Representative Stalker. Representative Thomas.
Aye.
Co-Chair McPherson.
Yes.
Chair Funky Fromeyer.
Yes. Thank you, Ms. Couch. All right. I believe all we have in front of us is adjournment. We are working on the next meeting, kind of in coordination, a number of new members, which welcome new member Maiden, welcome McPherson, welcome Representative Stalker, and all you old guys, thanks for coming back. We know we're here to work on the taxpayers' dollars. So on that note, adjourn.